I had taken an exam for General Electric Advanced Materials in about August of 2004. I passed the exam with a pretty high score. I was given an interview. I explained to the interviewer. I presented copies of my criminal record. I explained that I had been incarcerated in both state and federal prison, and upon my release, I made a conscious decision to voluntarily enroll myself in a drug addiction program in Albany, New York, which is the capital of New York State. I proceeded to become gainfully employed. I worked my way up from being a dishwasher to a forklift driver to a welder, and I also acquired my tractor-trailer license through the Teamsters. I moved on to the secondary phase of the interview process, which was with 2 plant managers and a human resource representative. During that interview, one of the plant managers turned to me and asked me how I would react if I experienced racism on the job. This plant manager subsequently turned out to be the building manager for the building which I worked in. Once I got there, I performed admirably. I became proficient in running 2 chemical reactors, highly technical equipment, state-of-the-art. I became so proficient, I was training senior workers on how to run the reactors. I was, for the most part of my career there, I was the only black man in the building. I would experience racism in the form of white co-workers drawing circular crosshairs of an assassin's rifle scope on the faces of prominent African Americans in Building 37. These pictures were in the newspapers present in the break room in Building 37. Everybody had access to it. The building was a 24-hour building and with revolving shifts. So my shift would come in and another shift would be leaving, and I'll go up to the break room and see this. It was insidious in nature because these are highly intelligent men, and they know exactly what they were doing.
So now these newspapers, they were just laying about in the break room?
They're laying about in the break room, and every employee had an opportunity to see them that worked there. Senior employees, for some reason or another, ignored them. I can only speculate that everybody was ignoring this because they realized, like I realized, that if they go to management with this, they will be ostracized and nothing will be done. This was further supported because once I sat down with Human Resources, the Human Resource representative told me this was unacceptable, and he conducted his own investigation. He went over there when I wasn't there working. He saw what I saw, and he came back, and in front of me and 2 union representatives, he said he saw what I was talking about. I asked him, was it racial in nature? And he remained silent. I looked at my 2 union representatives, and I asked him again, was it racial in nature? He remained silent. To me, this supports my theory that building management would not do anything about it. And the management at the plant wished to suppress it. The racial bigotry that occurred in Building 37 was insidious in nature. The word nigger was written on my locker. I was told in a room full of white people that I would be shot at one point. I conveyed this to Human Resources, and their position was that this was not a personal attack on me. You have to understand the mental anguish involved. I had grown to respect a lot of people I work with, and in my opinion, most of them are not racist. They only choose to be silent about it because, as I feel, they don't want to be ostracized and they don't want to be labeled a snitch at work. Rather, just write it off as the acts of an ignorant few people. Unfortunately, it became mentally anguishing for me to deal with this problem. While this was going on, I had relapsed into a minimal use of marijuana, and I failed a couple of drug screenings for that. I signed a last chance agreement. Then after that, I had the meeting with Human Resources where I explained that the mental anguish was a contributing factor, the single contributing factor to my relapse. Like I said, he remained silent about it, and my 2 union representatives were able to secure arbitration on my behalf. Further proof that the company didn't want to deal with the racial issue is that during the arbitration, there was a stipulation that I could not present any of the racial evidence that I had, and I couldn't even bring up the racism.
So they wanted to conduct arbitration
based only on the drug use.
Okay.
In my opinion, how could the arbitrator make an objective decision without knowing the cause of the relapse? So at this point, there is a EEOC case pending, ongoing investigation. But in my opinion, the people that work in the office of EEOC are good people, but they're underfunded and understaffed. And I am not confident that they will recommend this case to their legal department. So at this point, I am appealing to any prominent attorney that wishes to represent me in this case. I'm also have an open invitation to the Attorney General's office, who I did contact. The Attorney General's office, Division of Public Advocacy for the Civil Rights Bureau, Andrew Como, Attorney General. They wrote me back and they said that because this office only investigates patterns of discrimination and not individual incidents, we are therefore closing this file. To me, this is an ongoing pattern of discrimination. There were many minority employees there before I was there, and they experienced it as well. And for some reason or other, they might have remained docile about it because, as I felt, they felt the same way, that it would not be addressed in a proper manner. I contacted the FBI. I was told I'd have a meeting with an agent, and that never came to fruition. Like I said, there's an ongoing investigation with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission at this time. I just want to state that I had been in Albany for about 6 to 7 years once this had happened. I worked at various places, and the people of Albany and the surrounding capital region, what happened to me in no way represents the kind and sensitive people that live in that region.